Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Noelle Fakori. Joining me in the studio is Nagaraj Nadendla of Oracle. Welcome. It's so good to have you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
I'm so excited to spend the next few minutes with you. And before we actually dive into the topic I'm most excited about, how about we start with a little bit about you and your role at Oracle?
Absolutely. So I've been at Oracle for about a little over 7 years. I came into Oracle through the acquisition of Taleo.
Oh, yes.
As Senior Vice President of Product Development, as part of HCM Cloud, I'm responsible for the development, strategy, product management. I oversee all of those functions for cloud recruiting solutions at Oracle.
Oh my gosh, a very small job, no big
Very
deal.
small job, but one of the key things that I do is help our customers find, engage, and attract talent both internally and externally across the globe.
Amazing.
With the vast number of customers we have.
I love that. You brought up an interesting piece. You said internal and external, and I love that you said internal first. And I'd actually like to spend most of our time talking about that and internal talent mobility. It's obviously something that should be a huge priority for our companies and HR organizations. And I'd love to learn a little bit around what you've seen in this space when it comes to internal mobility and what some of your customers are doing that's been successful.
Absolutely. I think historically our customers have tried a variety of things to engage internal talent, and it's still a problem they're trying to solve in many ways. And there are many impediments to that. I think there are macro trends. So organizations in HR leadership have been constantly challenged with lack of information. But more importantly, I would say in the recent times, the macro trends, talent, hard to find talent, skills, lack of available skills. And I would say there are some internal challenges for themselves, in terms of how they engage with talent. I think all of these have put pressure on organizations. And I would say they started to put renewed interest in internal talent mobility in many ways. So we see that as a trend again.
Yeah.
It sort of comes and goes.
Yeah.
But I think, the macro trends are definitely not low unemployment, across the globe in many ways, hard to find talent, war on talent winning. Many trends are at play, but certainly there's renewed interest in talent mobility.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I know it's something that as somebody in HR, I started in recruiting, learning and development, now I'm in employee experience, and I feel like the conversation hasn't gone away. And whether you are on the HR side, the hiring manager side, or employee side, that mobility is always on your mind. So you mentioned a few of the challenges. What have been some of the successes that you've seen come out of it with your customers?
I think some of the successes, if anything, I think it's organizations that have put talent at the center of how they think about supporting the business strategy. And those customers are at the forefront of essentially thinking about their talent and enabling the career aspirations of their talent in many ways. And there are a multitude of ways they've done that, but I would, the forward-thinking organizations put talent at the center of their business strategy and how talent can enable the business strategy.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting piece because I think what you said, the forward-thinking companies, like there are some companies who are already there, talent is at the center, and there are some that are on the cusp. So what advice would you have for either HR leaders or even leaders outside of HR to really start to build that mindset so there can be a culture of internal mobility?
So I think there's many things. One of the things some key things, that I can share. Allow employees to think about, their employment more than a job. Think about an opportunity where the initial opportunity leads to a career rather than it's just a job. I think that drives engagement, which is at the epicenter of everything that sort of revolves around it, right, in many ways. So I think when the forward-thinking companies that do this, they think about an employee value proposition before they get hired. And then, so the candidate experience transitions into an employee experience.
Yes.
And the employee experience is a multitude of things. It drives engagement, it drives, their career aspirations, and eventually this talent becomes the brand ambassadors for the organization.
Yeah.
So I think it's there's many ways to achieve this, but I think organizations that think along these lines,
Yeah.
we have many customers, with LinkedIn, we have many joint customers that think along these lines,
Right.
and that drives the engagement, and it drives the success of the organization in many ways.
I love that. And I love that you brought up employee value proposition. I myself love a good EVP, as I know we call them on the HR side of the house. Do you find that there's anything in particular that goes into an employee value proposition that not only speaks to you before you join, but really resonates after you join as well?
I think it's sort of a continuum, as I said. Candidate
Yeah.
experience transitions into employee experience. A lot of times, talent thinks about who am I going to work with. Yeah, is this can I relate to the mission of the organization?
Yeah.
And things along those lines, which is part of the employee value proposition, right?
Yeah.
The value they live day to day as a brand, and the culture they espouse, and the opportunities that, or the reputation and the opportunities that will help me build a career.
Yeah.
All of this is part of that employee value proposition. And and I think as you transition to become an employee, seeing that become a reality will help me as an employee become that brand ambassador. When I
Yeah.
recruit somebody, I'm living that
Yeah.
in many ways in the way I talk and engage with them.
It's such an interesting point, like being able to make sure employees have stories and experiences that
Correct.
they can lean on. So that way, when somebody says, well, what is it like working at Oracle? They have so much to share that they almost can't stop. And that becomes the culture, that becomes the employee experience. And you only feel like you are a candidate for that one moment in time. And then you're actually this invested individual beyond that. That's so exciting. And I'm so curious to hear from you, your 7+ years at Oracle. Have you experienced your own sort of internal mobility, and what
Of
does
course.
that look like?
Of course, so as part of my responsibility, I not only do my day-to-day job, but
You live it out.
with strategic relationships like with Oracle and LinkedIn, I manage these. So there's a lot of other things I do
Yeah.
that satisfy my intellectual curiosity, my professional growth, and many other things. And if I'm speaking today, or when I speak to customers, I'm living that day to day, every day.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because LinkedIn and Oracle started a really interesting partnership not too long ago. Can you share a little bit about that and how it's been going so far?
Absolutely. And I want to tie this back to the talent mobility topic we just
Yeah.
talked about. So, about a year ago, we announced, I'm very excited to share this information. About a year ago, we announced this broadening strategic partnership between LinkedIn and Oracle. And one of the key elements of that, two of the key elements we've actually just made available to customers. They're
Really?
available for customers to leverage as we speak.
Okay.
They just became available earlier this month.
Oh, congratulations.
And
Very
it's
exciting.
to both of us. It was a lot of effort from LinkedIn and Oracle as well. So there are two pieces to the puzzle that, that we're making available. First is making recruiters productive across both Oracle systems, Taleo and
Yeah.
Oracle Recruiting Cloud, and LinkedIn Recruiter. So there's a bidirectional flow of information,
Amazing.
so recruiters become extremely productive. The second one is the topic related to talent mobility. We last year announced employees of our mutual customers being able to import their profile from LinkedIn into our HCM Cloud.
Interesting.
Imagine the possibilities when they do that. It drives many of the talent processes.
Yeah.
And one of the things that employees look for is, can I build my brand? Can I be found
Right.
before somebody else finds me?
Yeah.
Right? So that's the driver for us, to enable that for our mutual customers so they can drive the internal talent processes, whether it's developing their skills for the future, whether it's succession planning for some critical talent, or generally allowing an employee to showcase their
Yeah.
brand. I've got these skills. I have there's a persona about me, right, that I want to
Right.
share with the world, internal world.
Right.
That's what it drives and enables the many possibilities of having a career at an organization.
It's amazing.
So-
It allows you to drive your own career finally in many
Exactly.
ways, like that permission that people have been looking or asking for.
Exactly. So we look at we see tremendous value for mutual customers out of this.
Yeah.
So, it's top of mind for customers, as we've had, ever since we've announced these integrations,
Yeah.
many customers came knocking, what is this about?
Right.
They all know that you can import the profile as you apply for a job, but employees having the ability to bring in their profile,
Yeah.
augment their talent profile that drives everything about themselves.
Takes it to the next level in
I
such
think
a
it takes it to
personalized way.
absolutely, and that's one of the things. At Oracle, we're really striving to make work very human-centric,
Yeah.
and deliver the personalized, the connected, and the simple experiences that we experience day to day in our own personal lives. With the technologies we use.
I love that. Well, you
Yeah.
are clearly a subject matter expert on talent mobility. And I'm curious if our viewers want to learn more on this particular topic, anywhere that you would send them to learn more?
Sure. We just published a blog post this morning. If you just anybody searches
good.
for Oracle LinkedIn strategic
Check
partnership,
and check. Timing is everything.
I think these things will, there's a lot of content we share.
Yeah.
Also, if you navigate to the HCM Cloud, Oracle HCM Cloud page, I think, there's a lot of information there.
Beautiful.
The last thing I would say is we have both LinkedIn and Oracle have put in a lot of effort. Our mutual teams are enabled with information. So if a customer or somebody is interested in information, just reach out to either or both representatives they have that they liaise with every day.
Yeah.
I think there's plenty of information to share.
It's incredible. Well, I know it's a topic that's not only going to matter today, but well into the future as well. So thank you so much for spending time with us and sharing your incredible expertise.
It was a pleasure to be here and to be in this conversation.
Very good. Well, thank you for joining us at Talent Connect. And for those of you on the stream, stay tuned. We have even more for Talent Connect 2019. Thanks.